Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 10 of MLB action. The All Star break is upon us, and in this show, we're going to give our picks, our superior picks for who should be in the All Star game. Is there some homerism in there? You will find out. We will do that. We will recap what happened in week 10. We're in double digit territory, y'all, for MLB. It's a long season, it's a marathon. We got so much more action to go, and it's getting exciting. It's definitely not stagnating. You have teams you have a little bit of shakeup, so we're going to go into it all. So thank y'all so much for joining. I am your co-host Barrett Boombastic, joined as always by my co-host and right hand man Travis T-Bone Lawfully. What up?
Man, Boom, I'm doing fantastic this evening. I'm just a great time of year for baseball. Yeah, we've got this stretch of games here in the first half before the All-Star game comes up here. You're just seeing some great baseball played right now across the league. We'll have our college baseball episode tomorrow night talking about Omaha coming up this coming week here. Just baseball all around. Summer's here. It truly is baseball season. It's a wonderful time of year. A great game here in America. America's greatest pastime. And yeah, we're here to cover it all and to talk about what's going down with it.
Yeah, NBA playoffs are coming to a close. So really, the thick of June is when the NBA playoffs end. That's baseball's time to shine.
We
really.
get kind of into this little period here, but baseball definitely gets the sweet spot here heading into July. Here as both the NBA and the NHL are wrapping up their postseasons, where it's kind of like exclusive focus. Like if you want sports here in America, Major League Baseball, like traditionally is always it in July. And then, obviously August rolls around. There's still a lot of focus when we have the anticipation of the postseason coming up at that point. But very much, football season starts to poke its head there because, all teams have training camps and stuff like that. And the season starts shortly after that. But yeah, we're in the sweet spot for baseball right now, and I love it.
Oh yeah, me too, man. The best major league sport there is. So anyway, we're gonna get right into the show, and we're no doubter. That's the name of the show, and we start off our MLB recaps the way we always do with the no doubter of the week. It is totally subjective, but we do give a visual aid. So if you're watching, you get to watch. And if you're not watching, what the heck are you doing? Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch us. We do pour and score every now and then, enjoy some alcoholic beverages. You can see the drinks that we cover. And then also you get to see moments like these, the no doubter of the week. Now, there still is not a repeat no doubter. Now, again, it's 100% subjective, but one of these days, I don't know, it's going to be a tall bar for someone to be a repeat, but this one goes to a team that they don't have a lot to live for. It's a team that is 19 games behind first place in the NL East, the Baltimore Orioles, the pride and joy of Rougned Odor. And all the washed up, team players that nobody wants, the ragtag bunches. But
in a farm system that who knows where that's going because
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know who to anticipate coming out of the Baltimore Orioles organization anytime soon.
But the other day in Kauffman Stadium, a man by the name of Anthony Santander hit a ball that it was too big to pass up. And you're about to see there is an extra special visual element to this. So, again, it's all eye tests in this one. So, without further ado, we're going to present the winner of our No Doubter of the Week for Week 10. I'm, of course, talking about Anthony Santander of the Baltimore Orioles. So, here's the situation. Anthony Santander is up at the plate. You got Keller pitching. He's 10 pitches in. This is the top of the first. You're right at the beginning of the game. This is when the pitcher should be at its most, like he should be this freshest, but wrong. It's a righty on lefty, so a little bit of action there, and boom, knocks it off. You see the guy in the stands trying to go get it. It goes in the waterfall. Now, it takes a big jack for a ball to go like clear into the waterfall there. That doesn't happen every day. But this was a waterfall homer. it was a special one. He got hit the crap out of it.
And that ball was pretty upstairs too. Like
Oh yeah.
it was definitely trending up there, and he just got the velocity behind that. Yeah, let's take a look at this again. Oh yeah,
Boom.
and it's
I
and
mean, he doesn't even catch it. It's in the waterfall. I
yeah.
mean, it's just he got all of that. Anthony Santander for the win, no doubter of the week. That ball was 455 feet, 107.2 miles per hour off the bat, 29-degree launch angle. He hit it off a fastball, but congratulations. It's the only award you will ever win. Orioles rack it up, hang it in, put it in the trophy case. No doubters in the weeks. We will send you the trophy, and I wouldn't hold your breath. Between
if we had a trophy, we'd send it to you, but we don't. Sorry. Disclaimer:
Yes.
If anybody from the Orioles is watching or a fan of theirs that thinks we have a trophy to give you, sorry, we don't.
No, you get bragging rights for a whopping week. So, congrats to you, Anthony Santander. You did us proud, living the no doubter way and going for a splash. So, all right, now we're not going to bid further ado to one of the specialties of this episode. We're going to give our all-star picks because the ballots are open. You can vote up to 5 times. So you can go to the website, mlb.com/all-star/ballot and vote for yourself. It is a people's choice. It is democratic in every way, shape, or form.
And you could literally vote for yourself in there. I think there's a write-in option there. So if you would have,
I don't know. I mean, you know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes.
What if one random person got like some guy from
Harambe?
Yes, somebody wrote in Harambe.
Yes. Harambe.
Or
R.I.P.
Or like I think for the New York mayoral race, where somebody literally wrote in Bing Bong for that.
Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah. Yes. Now that would never happen in New York because they take baseball way too seriously. But
well, let's just say there might be one individual in particular, at least one individual in particular from New York who is well deserving of a nod. But did we vote for that person who we all know we're talking about? We're about to find out. So in rapid fire action, we are going to alternate our picks, NL, AL, for the All-Star. And I will note, this is the first year that the NL has a DH, so they have a DH All-Star from the NL. So it's just one more opportunity for someone to be voted in. So we're seeing history before us. You got a full slate. So first base all the way to DH, we're going to give our picks. And I will go first. First base. My AL pick is Ty France of the Seattle Mariners, and NL pick is Paul Goldschmidt of the Cardinals. To me, Goldschmidt, I mean, I don't know how you can pick him. I mean, maybe Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso having a fantastic year, but Goldschmidt, in my opinion, is on another planet. 340 per 3 average, 1.063 OPS. The first base for AL is a little bit closer. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is underperforming slightly, but I just think Ty France is having a breakout year. 324 batting average, 886 OPS, 9 homers. Again, Vlad's numbers are pretty similar. So really, there's you could vote for 3 or 4 people for the AL, but I just ended up going for Ty France because I just think, I'm a sucker for guys for high averages. So Ty France, Paul Goldschmidt, those are my first base picks.
All right. Yeah. We're, we kind of share in that as well here, in terms of stat wise and everything. So on the American League side, I am going with Luis Reyes from the Twins. I don't think we expected a whole lot out of the Twins this year. Going into it, but they've been a very nice surprise. They certainly have been very consistent, play at a very high level. They do a lot of good things well as a team, and Arias has been been a really big part of what this team has done here. 362 batting average with 3 home runs, 19 runs batted in on the year, and 880 OPS. I mean, those are pretty elite numbers. And I think, Arraez just seems to be a great guy, good clubhouse person to have around, and is playing at a very high level for this team, and has been a big part of their success that they've had up in the Twin Cities. So, in the American League side, Luis Arraez, and then on the National League side, it was a no doubter of a choice for me for this one here. Paul Goldschmidt. Yep.
Yeah.
Going with him there. I mean, just elite numbers across the board. That 338 average with the 14 home runs, 51 runs batted in, the over 1,000 OPS. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The man just keeps getting better as time goes on, it seems like. In the league. So, those are my 2 picks. Yeah, good. Stat line, star power, consistency, name brand. I mean, those are all things that are going to be in consideration for me.
There you go, Paul Goldschmidt, man. This is the breakout year, the fine wine himself doing the city of St. Louis proud. So, all right, I'm going to put it back on you, T-Money. Who are your second base picks?
My second base picks, out of the evil empire in the Bronx, Gleyber Torres for second base here. 251 batting average, 12 home runs, 28 runs batted in, 789 OPS on the year. Yeah, I mean, Torres has been a good piece as part of this team, and I don't know if I have as much conviction about him as much as I think the national media, the East Coast media would love to see a guy like him in the All-Star game, and so I think that he's a serious possibility among the voting base to be in the All-Star game this year. And then on the National League side, this is another one that was I didn't even have to think twice about the sensation himself, Jazz Chisholm Jr. Out of the Miami Marlins here. I mean, this kid's just been phenomenal. He's a great personality, electric sort of guy, fun to watch. 249 batting, 12 homers on the year, 40 runs batted in, and 832 OPS. I mean, he's a foundational piece for that Marlins organization that's looking for something to get excited about for the future and for something to build around. And at second base, he's just a very key piece for that team. So, yep, Torres and Chisholm Jr., my 2 picks here in the second base department.
Yep. For my second base picks in the National League, Jazz Chisholm was my pick for the NL. I just think he is just leaps and bounds above the competition. Jeff McNeil is having kind of a comeback year as well, so I think he might deserve to at least be a backup in this voting. But Jazz he's becoming one of the faces of baseball. It's only a matter of time before he's on the cover of MLB The Show at some point. So Jazz Chisholm, he's my pick for the NL. There is a slight difference for the AL pick, and I had to go with Jose Altuve. So the homerism brings in, but although it is not completely unjustified, I think he has the highest OPS out of all of the American League second basemen.
Jose Altuve's numbers are elite. He absolutely is justified for being picked.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, 277 average, 12 bombs, 23 RBIs. I mean, compared to Gleyber has more RBIs, and they have the same amount of homers. But Altuve has a better batting average and a better OPS by above a little over 100 points. A little less than 100 points, actually. But giving Gleyber some credit. I mean, I don't know. You look at Altuve, Andres Jimenez, Santiago Espinal, Torres, they're pretty similar. So again, it's not like a Paul Goldschmidt situation where he's a clear breakout or he's above 1,000. No one else is close. But here's my philosophy when it comes to voting. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I want to see the best players in the All-Star game, period, end of story. But in situations like this, in which it is pretty close, again, subjectively close, I always go on the side of the Astro. I will not be voting for Maldonado. Spoiler alert. I know Houston, they They showed it up. They showed up to vote last time, and Maldonado was literally a finalist, even though he had no business being a finalist because, I mean, he's great with the glove, but with the bat, there's a reason why he's in the 9 hole. Come on, guys. At the end of the day, you can vote for however you want, but Jose Altuve and Jazz Chisholm, what a pairing! And it will be interesting. This All Star game will be at Dodger Stadium. It'll be interesting to see if the Astros players, because there's going to be at least one Astro, and we'll talk about him later. We'll see if they even show up. Last time they all kind of boycotted it, but I think at some point they have to show up, and they're going to get the booze. One, because it's full capacity, and two, because it's at Dodger Stadium, so it's going to be, they just have to go there and just take it, and then just hit a homer in their face. I would love for Altuve, assuming he is it, or either starter or a reliever or on the bench, hit a homer in the All-Star game. That would make me so happy. Oh man. But anyway, Altuve and Jazz Chisholm, those are my choices for second base. And now moving on to third base, my choices are Jose Ramirez, one of the most underrated players for the Cleveland Guardians, and a man who is just leaps and bounds. Well, I don't want to say that. It's a man who he's really establishing himself as one of the best. I'm talking about St. Louis's own Nolan Arenado, baby, for the St. Louis Cardinals. When it comes to Jose Ramirez, again, I just think, he has 59 RBIs, for crying out loud, over 1,000 OPS, 16 bombs, 292 average. He's just absolutely elite. When it comes to the National League, Manny Machado's having a great year, and I don't fault you for picking him. For me, Arenado started off pretty hot, and I think his numbers are still good. 271 average, 11 bombs, 41 RBIs, 821 OPS. So I could have gone Machado, but I don't know. I just went with Arenado for some reason. So I just think, I don't know. I would love to see him pick it back up because, man, he was in MVP territory for like the first 2 weeks or something like that. But there you go. Jose Ramirez, Nolan Arenado. Those are my third base picks.
Yeah, definitely. It's some of these here. You look at them and you start comparing guys. And it's like, yeah, this is a toss up. It could go really kind of any one way, and just you have to pick someone sometimes. And so I think, yeah, kind of for me, Manny Machado fell into that territory here. A lot of great choices in the third base department in the National League. But I think Machado's a big part of that team, and just there's a lot of excitement right now around the Padres, and I think I might be starting to become a believer in them here. And so yeah, it kind of where my bias goes to in the third base pick here. On the American League side of things, I picked Rafael Devers. Just I have to once again, I give a little bit of big market bias here towards this here. It's the Red Sox. Historical organization within baseball, and Devers has been a big part of this team's success to this point this year. The third baseman, he's got those 14 homers on the year. That leads the team. He's just behind Trevor Story in runs batted in as well, 35, 970 OPS. It's the Red Sox are really on the upswing right now. They're playing some good baseball. It's who knows if they'll hold on for a wild card spot, but there's. I think they're kind of exceeding expectations right now, and they're starting to find some power and some consistency, seemingly with their offense. They're improving things in that regard. So I'm going to give the nod to Devers here and say that he'll get the third base spot.
Yeah, don't blame me for picking Devers. His numbers are pretty comparable to Ramirez besides RBIs. 335 average, 15 bombs, 986 OPSs. Those are amazing numbers. And I don't blame you for picking Machado. Again, it was a toss up between the two. You could have even chosen Brandon Drury or Austin Riley. Pretty close field. You gotta tip your hat to Manny Machado. He's carrying the team on his back. He's filling in the shoes that only Tatis could fill. He's doing better than anybody probably could have imagined, and he's helping keep the Padres in it to win it. So, all right, I'm gonna put it back to you. Let's go with the flashiest position, shortstop.
All right. Well, starting on the American League side of things, I'm doing a bit of a homer pick here. One of the most
Yes.
anticipated offseason moves in all of Major League Baseball here to happen. The man himself, Corey Seager, is going to get the nod at shortstop. Yes, you look at his numbers here: 222 batting average, 12 home runs, 28 RBIs on the year, 689 OPS. But really, you have to look at it within the context of really like the last month and a half of him really getting things going here and becoming truly one of the elite shortstops here right now in in the American League this season, if not overall in Major League Baseball. So I give the nod to Mr. Corey Seager. He's just playing really great baseball right now. He's a big name. He's got a following across the country, and then especially here has got the following here in the DFW area now among the Rangers fan base. So I think Corey Seager, maybe a little bit of a controversial pick in that regard, but gets the nod for shortstop in the American League. In the National League, I went with Dansby Swanson from the Braves. 295 batting average, 9 home runs, 37 runs batted in, 837 OPS. Just kind of an offensive machine there, and you're starting to see the Braves I think playing better lately as well too. So obviously my conviction this lies a lot more with Seager than it does Swanson, but those are my votes I've given here to the shortstop positions.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the shortstop position for the National League, don't fault you for picking Dansby. His numbers are phenomenal. 835, 834 OPS, 294 average, 9 bombs, 37 RBIs. He's definitely having a great year. I picked Trey Turner, again, 298 batting average, 7 bombs, 46 RBIs, 815 OPS. So the two are pretty comparable, but I am a Trey Turner fan. I think he's one of the most underrated players in baseball. His speed is elite. He's a 5-tool player the whole way through. When it comes to the American League, the Seager pick was a bit of a stretch, but again, you do you, man. The homerism, embrace it. I mean, you do. Again, that's all I'm gonna say is you do you. Gotta sneak in a Ranger some way somehow. I haven't reviewed the rest of your picks, but we'll see if you have any other Rangers. But when it comes to people who have better objective stats, a lot of people can pick Tim Anderson. I mean, my goodness, 356 average, 19 RBIs. Again, that's not impressive, but 896 OPS. My goodness, Tim Anderson, just a man like a pure hitter kind of player. A lot of people are picking Xander Bogaerts. You got a few people picking Carlos Correa, who is now batting above 300. I went with the homer pick, but what I will argue is my homer pick in the shortstop category is not as much of a stretch because it is the one and only Jeremy Pena of the Houston Astros. 277 average, 9 home runs, 804 OPS. His wins above replacement is over 3. He has the highest wins above replacement of any rookie in Major League Baseball. He's doing everything that we could have hoped that he could do to fill in Correa and more. He is truly the future for the Astros. So I stretched a little bit. I mean, a lot of people say, they were like, oh, why don't you pick Bogaerts or why don't you pick Anderson? Well, again, it's stretching, but it's my ballot. It's your ballot, Travis. It's my ballot. We can do what we want.
Yeah.
So there we go. Moving on to the catcher position. And I'm going to go ahead and start this. So for me, at least, when it comes to the American League, it's not even close. Alejandro Kirk, Toronto Blue Jays, 315 average, which is an insane average for a catcher. 5 bombs, 19 RBIs, 859 OPS. I mean, I think he's leaps and bounds. And then for the National League, I think it's even more leaps and bounds for Wilson Contreras. I mean, this guy is just he's just flat out one of the best offensive catchers in the league. 272 average, 11 bombs for a catcher. My goodness. I mean, that's not Salvador Perez bombs, but for a catcher, I mean, that's like double the rest is competition. 24 RBIs, 921 OPS for a catcher. I mean, golly, what the Astros, they need a catcher who's half as good as Contreras. Yeah. But there you go. Alejandro Kirk of the Blue Jays and Wilson Contreras of the Chicago Cubs. Those are my catcher picks.
Yes, and I share with you on the National League side the pick of Wilson Contreras out of the Cubs there. I mean, yeah, those numbers are just ridiculous. Here for a catcher, and for an organization that's rebuilding right now with the Cubs, he's that's a name there. People. The fans out there, the Cubs fans, they'll show up to Wrigley regardless. But that man will put some butts in seats for sure, just because he's a big name for him, and he's a fun player to watch as well. I'm gonna go homerism again here at the catcher position, in picking out of the Texas Rangers. Maybe it's homerism, but maybe talking about pretty good numbers in terms of a catcher here. Maybe you could pick other guys here in the American League for this, but I'm going to homerism here, and I think there's some justification to it. It is Mr. Jonah Heim. Mr. Heim here, the Buffalo, New York area native himself. He has a 250 batting average with 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in, a 757 OPS for this Rangers team this year. Jonah Heim, just a great personality, a lot of fun to watch his game. He comes up really clutch, oftentimes there in terms of like getting on base when he needs to. He's gotten walk-off home runs for the Rangers before. Jonah Heim has just become kind of one of these endearing Rangers personalities as part of this organization. Like the Rangers, we haven't always had the most success over the years, but we have guys that play hard. They're really good at their position, that become fan favorites. What kind of the name that they built for themselves here in the DFW area. And Jonah Heim is one of those guys. I think he has a real chance, I think, at getting the catcher vote here, just with the support here from the DFW area.
Yeah, I mean, Jonah Heim, when it comes to Rangers picks, he's definitely the most justified, in my opinion, Ranger pick. Not too far away from the pack. 7 bombs, 757 OPS. So good pick there. But yeah, Wilson Contreras is I mean, how can you pick anyone else? So there you go. All right. Now, let's just go ahead and just give them all. Trav, gonna turn it over to you. Let's give all of our outfield picks for both leagues. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, just going down the leagues here. Out of the American League, my 3 picks here were Randy Rosarena, Michael Brantley, and then Adolis Garcia. Another in my final homer pick here out of this year's All-Star voting. And then out in the National League, I've got Ronald Acuna Jr., Starling Marte, and then Mr. Jocktober himself, Jock Peterson here. Rosarena, just really like his game. He's kind of one of these bigger names here within the Rays organization that is more, I feel like, is more than just a nice piece to kind of have fit in there, but truly like a superstar type of player for the Tampa Bay Rays. Michael Brantley, what else do you need to say about him? He is Michael Brantley. He's one of these elite pieces as part of the Houston Astros organization. And then Adolis Garcia, another fan favorite here. Here, not quite the same bat that these other 2 guys have, just a 243 average, but 12 home runs on the year and 41 runs batted in, a 751 OPS. Garcia is a power bat for sure, out in the outfield. So yeah, just have to go with homerism there, and just the fact that he's an exciting player to watch here. My Rangers in the National League, you've got Acuna Jr. yeah, probably the most elite numbers out of all of these guys here. The 302 batting average was 6 home runs, 16 runs batted in, and 909 OPS. Starling Marte has kind of, been this guy that we just a very talented player for sure, making his way out to the East Coast and the Mets, just not fully sure, how we were thinking, hey, how is this guy going to fit in with this clubhouse and, be a piece here to really kind of change things offensively uh, for this Mets organization. But he's certainly done that. And the guy's athletic and electric at pretty much everything that he does. So Marte was a pick for me. That was pretty easy to make here in this regard as well. And then, yeah, it was I guess I was kind of maybe running out of convictions in the National League here of what I wanted for my outfield. So yeah, Mr. Jocktober himself, Jock Peterson, here 265 average, 13 home runs, and that man gets runs in as well too, with 33 on the year and the 895 OPS. So yeah, a lot of elite players for sure on the National League side of things out in the outfield, but those three guys stood out to me.
There you go. A lot to digest there. Respect you picking Brantley. Now, Brantley's not going to be hitting bombs, but yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, Michael Brantley, super high average player, 290 batting average, 793 OPS. So, hey, man, you voted for an Astro. You did it. You
Yes,
did it, man.
I did it.
Yeah, I know. Uncle Mike, professional hitter. Garcia, Rosarina. I mean, those are two studs for sure. Pretty solid. Over in the National League end of things. I mean, Acuna and Peterson for sure, great picks. Marte is really fitting into the Mets organization very well. So, hey, man, yeah, A for originality when it comes to your picks. You're not just going straight up by OPS or something like that. But hey, I mean, it's different. I will give you that. So, my picks are a lot more boring. So when it comes to the American League, I'm going to go with Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, and George Springer. Let's talk about Aaron Judge. The guy's got 24 bombs, 316 batting average, 1.068 OPS. I mean, he's on pace to be the MVP of the American League at this point. 48 RBIs too. I mean, it's just, I can't not pick him. Another guy with a Mike Trout, OPS above 1,000, 293 average, 16 bombs, 1.026 OPS. It's just, I count this guy out. I take Mike Trout for granted, and I've just decided I'm just never going to do it again because he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. I mean, and the times where he wasn't the GOAT is the times where he was injured, where he literally couldn't do anything about it. So, and then my last pick is George Springer. A lot of people are picking Taylor Ward. You had some people picking Byron Buxton or even Giancarlo Stanton, but it's a slight homerism on my part because George previously played for the Astros. But I think his numbers are pretty solid. 281 average, 12 bombs, 875 OPS. I mean, those are stellar. So those are my American picks. And then National League, my picks are pretty boring. It's straight up OPS. Ronald Acuna Jr., Jock Peterson, Mookie Betts. All these guys are just OPSs above, near 900. Ronald Acuna, he's back and he's making an absolute splash. We'll talk about the Braves later on in the show, but man, Acuna is back, and the Braves are feeding off of his performance. And it's just incredible how he comes back and he's already asserting himself as one of the premier outfielders in all of baseball. Jocktober, he's having a phenomenal year. I never really gave him a lot of credit. I'm honestly not a huge fan of the guy, but I got to vote for him because the numbers speak for themselves. 265 average, 13 bombs, 895 OPS. And then Mookie. How can you not love Mookie? I mean, Mookie, 16 bombs, 892 OPS, 278 average. He didn't have a good start to the season. But when he got hot, he got red hot, and he got hotter than anybody else in baseball. So those are my picks for all of the outfield. And then last but not least, we have not one but two designated hitter picks because the more the merrier. And starting with the National League, I'm going to be picking Bryce Harper. I mean, 318 average, 15 bombs, 46 RPIs, 1.014 OPS. I mean, come on. I mean, it's just absolute no brainer. And then speaking of no brainers, my American League pick for the designated hitter, Yoran Alvarez. This guy is, I mean, you can legitimately consider him an MVP candidate. 315 average, 17 bombs, 1.031 OPS. I mean, gotta love Yoran Alvarez. The guy's getting paid, and he is making it rain. So those are my final All-Star picks.
All right. Yeah. No, you had some great picks in there for sure. And I think, yeah, we've got we definitely have some good kind of fun variation here across our picks this year for the All-Star game, and aligned in some areas of what we're looking for, and then it differs in some areas too. But hey, that makes it fun. It makes it ultimately see, when the selections are made, we can kind of take a look at like, hey, what were the voters ultimately kind of looking at, and where did certain trends emerge here? But with that in mind here, yeah, wrapping things up here on the designated hitter side of things here, starting with the American League, JD Martinez here was my pick out of the Boston Red Sox. He's just he is slashing great this year. Here as the designated hitter for those guys, 347. 413, 563, 7 home runs, 26 runs batted in, 979 on base plus slugging percentage. The man's an offensive machine there at the plate. And then my National League pick here, just a sheer nostalgia pick here. The man that is on his victory lap, his farewell tour in Major League Baseball, back home where he made a name for himself at the designated hitter position this year. Well, he was a pitcher for a matter of minutes just a few weeks ago, but that's another story. But the designated hitter selection out of the National League for me was Albert Pujols. Yes, only a 218 batting average and just 4 home runs and 16 runs batted in. On the year, but just a pure nostalgia pick, and how fun it would be to see him be the DH in this year's All-Star game.
Yeah, I think regardless of whether or not he gets voted in, I think they should just invite him there anyway, just so he can be there and just kind of, his presence being his final year. He is truly the machine. I mean, just, as a fond memory on one of our previous episodes, when it comes to Albert Pujols, he's got to go somewhere. Yes.
My thoughts may have since changed about where about what I said about that man recently, especially after Mark Bogart's reaction to it. But yeah, we'll leave that for another day.
We will leave that for another day. Go pick out our top 10 most overrated players of all time. One of my personal favorite episodes we've ever done on this episode. Just scroll up. You can listen to that. A lot of fun ones with Mark Bogart. We got to get that guy on. We got to do a list. Once college baseball ends and we're strapped for content, we got to do another list. Yeah. It's got to happen, man.
We'll figure out something to talk about with that guy.
Yes, we will. So there you go. Those are our all-star picks. They're subjective, a little bit of homerism in there, but you can vote yourself. Let's just this is the first round. So let's get in our picks, and the all-star game's coming up. It's back in the day, it meant something. Now it's just pure fanfare and celebration, and it'll be at Dodger Stadium, which it'll be a good one, and Home Run Derby, obviously. That is a true competition, so that's definitely my favorite of the two. But I also I watch them both, so looking forward to it. We'll definitely be covering it. So, but now, without further ado, we got to get into the meat of our show, recapping all the divisions. So, T Money, gonna point it back to you. Let's do what we always do.
Yes, sir. Let's start out with the American League and take it all the way out to the East Coast. with the American League East. And continues. So stop me if you've heard this one before here. It continues to be the Yankees show here. Now 44-16 on the year. The Yankees are with a plus 127 run differential. That now beats out the Dodgers for the largest run differential. They've scored 307 runs and only allowed 180 runs on the year. Yeah, that is the lowest runs allowed out of any team in all of Major League Baseball this year. They're on the 4-game win streak right now. They kind of haven't played the greatest competition in the world here over the past week here in terms of these games that they've won. Teams like the Cubs, they got a nice series win over the Twins. They've had the Tigers and the Angels as well recently, but the Yankees just keep doing Yankees things. We know we can trust our eyes at this point how this Yankees team is playing and say that, hey, they're actually probably pretty legit now, and that they've got a legitimate chance to be hoisting the trophy at the end of all this in October. We continue. Aaron Judge show remains how it is here. Got Nestor Cortez that continues to do a great job as a starter. Jameson Tylan has done a really good job as well for these guys. He's got 7 wins credited to him. Here in this team with just a 2.93 ERA and 52 strikeouts as well. Garrett Cole's got 84 strikeouts for this team. Like to see his ERA get down a little bit more. But the pitching all around, it does the job no matter what type of situation they're in. They keep guys off base. If guys get off on base, they can get strikeouts. They can. They can hit, they can field well, they can just do everything here. The Yankees organization is starting to look like the Yankees maybe of old, of a like truly just big pockets and the talent that's backing it up with it, and not leaving us to wonder what could have been, or just like wonder what's going on out there. But that could all change. It could also be first round exit once October hits as well. We truly don't know. But we're riding the wave right now of either hating the Yankees for how good they are, or if you're a Yankees fan, Emily Nyman's out there somewhere loving this right now, and you're cheering this team on. And so good times right now up in the Bronx. The Blue Jays right now are 8 games behind me, but they still have a 600 record on the year at this point right now, 36-24. I mean, you're working with the Blue Jays in this type of division. You're working with the Yankees in this type of division, so you can't blame these guys for being 600. And they're starting to show some talent as well too here that's living up to the expectations. To think of what we had for this Blue Jays team earlier in the year. We talk about like, hey, who else is going to step up to help out things offensively for this team, because one of the talent is there. It just hasn't quite gotten it done to this point. Really up until this point in the year. But we're seeing guys like Alejandro Kirk, the catcher, playing very well right now. His season numbers has a 315 batting average, and is also slashing 396 and 463 for this club. Vlad Guerrero Jr. just keeps doing Vlad Guerrero Jr. things, leading the team in home runs, and then runs batted in at 15 and 37 respectively. Pitching wise, talked about Alek Manoah, Kevin Gausman. Those guys continue to get the job done. The pitching is starting to shore up a little bit as well. Batting is getting up there too. Certainly, the Blue Jays are a team to keep an eye on right now, because they're playing some very good ball as of late. And then the Rays, the Rays are right there too, but it's like, what exactly maybe to think of this team? You look at like what they have, like their performance over the past week here, just the type of teams that they've played. They've dropped a series to the Twins, they've swept the Cardinals, they've dropped a series to the White Sox, they split it with the Rangers. Just very up and down ball here. They're sitting at 35-25 on the year, right there with the Blue Jays. 9 games behind the division. They they just don't have quite the offensive prowess. There, the runs allowed is not bad. They just need a little bit more out of the plate out of these guys, and really to feel good about them heading into the second half of the year and really seeing them as a contender for a wild card here. Still 6-4 in the last 10 games. So like we said, just the kind of a bit inconsistent at times. Yeah, it looks like they, when they win, they can win close games and they can win big games, but they can also, when they lose games, they're giving up a lot of runs in cases with it too. Like dropping games 6-5, 9-4 over the Twins, like they did in a recent series with them. 6-5 loss to the White Sox, 9-5 loss to the Rangers, 7-2 loss to the Yankees. It's when they lose, they give up a lot of runs, and their offensive output can kind of be up and down. So that explains a lot as to why this team is in the place that they are right now. But yeah, got guys like Wander Franco, Kevin Kleimer. Pitching wise, Shane McClanahan show continues. There's good pieces to like here. So like I said, got to see more consistency here in this division. I think especially the American League to really look at these guys as a contender rather than just I don't know if you can really call them a pretender, but just kind of being anything more than an early exit at this point if the postseason were to start today. And then the Red Sox. The Red Sox really, the Red Sox are kind of coming back to life here. We weren't just like a couple of weeks ago. These guys were dead in the water, and we didn't really have much of a reason to give attention up there in Boston. They're 39-29 on the year, 12 and a half games behind, but they're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They've played not the greatest competition in the world right now. You've got the Mariners that they've got series wins over, the Angels, the Athletics that are on a 10-game losing streak right now that they swept, the Reds, the Orioles. It's the schedule certainly is set up for them really over the past month to have to be able to kind of start to get some steam going for them. And show something here. We talked about pieces like Martinez and Devers have been a big part of the offense here for this club. But the offense truly has not been, really has come through with the success of this team lately. 284 runs total on the year, plus 40 run differential. Runs allowed 244 on the year. It's just plus 44 run differential right now. But the pitching, is really held up well. You're looking at these wins like 2-0, 4-3, 1-0, close situations like 6-5 win over the Angels, 1-0 win, 5-2 win, 8-0, 7-2. Those wins over the A's. Pitching is starting to come through, and it's a good sign as you're going into the second half of the year, and you're a team like this that there wasn't huge expectations for. You was kind of seen as a bit of a rebuilding year, but they're pushing through and getting could be very well in contention for a wild card spot come the end of the year. If they continue to get better and that they can show the same type of performance against the better teams in Major League Baseball as well. So a lot of good baseball being played right now in the AL East. It was kind of a lull for a while there of just the Yankees completely stealing the show, and certainly what's going on in the Bronx is the show right now across the entire division. But there's good baseball being played north and south of the border there in that part of the country too. So fun baseball right now in the AL East.
There you go. I think if the Yankees start cooling down, I think the Jays, the Rays, and the Red Sox, they're waiting in the wings. They're just waiting for the Yankees to cool down. But if the Yankees just keep winning somewhat majority of their games, it's over. But hey, we've seen crazy lead changes in the past. So it ain't over till it's over. We're not even at the halfway point, but it's just Yankees, Yankees, Yankees. Their fan base is rabid because, they're just the best. There's no other way to it. So good job for you. Good job for the Red Sox for trying to start to reverse the trend a little bit. It is nice when the American League East is actually competitive, which, we'll see what happens. It's all in the Yankees. They're the ultimate questions. Moving on to the National League East, it's still Mets, mighty Mets. They're 40-22, 5 games above the Braves. When it comes to the Mets, their offense is aplenty. They spread it out amongst a bunch. Lindor, 740 OPS. Starling Marte, 769, 1.6 wins above replacement. Pete Alonso, 921 OPS. My goodness. Brandon Nimmo, 777 OPS. Marcana, 770. Jeff McNeil, 812. I mean, it's just, you've got stellar numbers across the board. Pete Alonso, 18 bombs. My goodness. I mean, it's just, he's no longer just a guy who's good at the home run derby. He's a guy who's good at every instance. And the Mets, they don't even have DeGrom and Scherzer back, and they're still hanging on to the lead. But once they get Scherzer and DeGrom back, I mean, it's a completely different game. They have the most runs scored in all of Major League Baseball. So the one question that they've had to ask this whole time is their offense has been underperforming and not giving their pitchers run support. This year, categorically different. It's all, Steve Cohen, he has put the moves in place to set them up as a winning and a contending team. Buck Showalter's doing phenomenal. It's just you have all the talent in the world. And you've got Chris Bassett, 4.35 ERA, Carlos Carrasco, 3.93, Tylon Walker, 3.08. I mean, it's just, those are pretty solid ERAs. And you want that from your secondary cast, your supporting cast, shall I say, because man, oh man, when Scherzer and DeGrom come back, it's going to be a different story. But I want to turn to the Atlanta Braves. They are currently on a 12-game win streak, ladies and gentlemen, only to come up to 5 games below the Mets. They had to win 12 in a row just to get within 5 games. It just shows you how far they were down. But the defending champions are starting to heat up. Austin Riley, 845 OPS, 2 wins above replacement, 16 bombs in the year. I mean, everybody just doesn't, everybody overlooks Austin Riley. Everybody. And it's not fair. Marcelo Zuna, he's got 11 bombs in the year, but he currently is negative 0.6 wins above replacement. Not great. He's underperforming. Matt Olson, 806 OPS. He fits in like a glove. Ozzy Albies is injured. I don't know how long he's going to be out, but it was a huge blow. It was a momentum killer. It was a buzz kill. I mean, it's just, that might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But at least they got Acuna back. I think they found a way to do it last year. So I got to have faith that they're going to scrap and round and try to find something, to do. This, with the recent loss of Ozzy Albies. Dansby Swanson, Travis's all-star pick, 816 OPS, 2.5 wins above replacement. It's just, the offense is starting to tick up, which it did need to do. Now the pitching, it's actually starting to dial in as well. Max Fried, 264 ERA. Kyle Wright, 257 ERA. Charlie Morton, 567. Do want to see that better. I think he might be a little past his prime. He has a negative WAR, but it's just, when Charlie is firing on all cylinders, he's unhittable. I've seen it too many times. Ian Anderson, that guy's got to step it up as well. 481 ERA, not going to cut it. Kenley Jansen, 325 ERA as a closer. I mean, it's not super elite, but it's a 0.9 whip, so we'll see. But it's starting to turn into a 2-horse race. 12-win streak, that'll do it. But I just don't know. I keep having more faith in the Mets, even considering they're going to get Scherzer and DeGrom back. But you never ever know. It's just, Snicker is an amazing manager, and the Braves, they have something to prove. They want to repeat. So there you go. NL East shaping up to be more exciting.
Absolutely, yeah. It is good for the advertising dollars out there, the sponsorship, everything. You've got it is good when baseball on that side of the country is doing well. Strong, passionate fan bases out there. The advertisers love it. just good for the sport in general. But we're gonna start making our way, maybe out to some smaller markets out in Middle America now. But a division that it very much still matters. It may not be one of the strongest division, but it's a division we still got to talk about here. That maybe there is some strength starting to show here outside of just one team. But we will start with the team that is leading it here. We're talking about the AL Central here, out in America's heartland, and we take it up to the Twin Cities and the Minnesota Twins. So the Twins are on a they're 6-4 in their last 10 games. Still sitting right at the 571 mark right now, 36-27 on the year, plus 26 run differential. They just are a well-rounded team that does a lot of things well. Byron Buxton has been pretty rock solid for this team over the past week here. He has 18 home runs on the year. He got a home run the other day over the Mariners as well to help them with their 3-2 victory over Seattle. You've got talk about Luis Reyes, my second baseman pick for this year's All-Star game. Jorge Polanco, the shortstop. Joe Ryan show is taking care of things pitching wise. They continue to get the job done over some pretty decent teams here. They've got series wins over the Rays. They did drop a series to the Yankees, but they got the series win again over the Blue Jays the other day. Got a series opening win over the Mariners the other night. So this Twins team just continues to hang right in there. But there is a team that's starting to lurk not far behind in the AL Central. And that team is, the team with the new name, the new identity, up there along the Rust Belt in the Upper Midwest. We're talking about Cleveland and the Cleveland Guardians. Cleveland Guardians are they're sitting right now at 29-27 on the year. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. And they have the better, slightly better run differential, plus 3.3 on the year. What have the Guardians been doing lately? So they've got a series win over the Oakland A's. Talk about struggling organization, but they also got series wins over the Rangers, the Orioles, swept the Royals. Some pretty good. Once again, you play the schedule that's right in front of you, but some good wins in there. And all that as well. Jose Ramirez, third baseman, having a phenomenal year, slashing 292, 389, and 641 slugging. Pitching wise, Shane Bieber's getting the job done with 291 ERA and 68 strikeouts on the year and a 291 earned run average. Sorry, just repeating myself. 291 earned run average. Bieber's done a phenomenal job. Cal Quantrill, 4 wins as a starter, 3.38 ERA and 40 strikeouts in the year has also helped out this cast as well. The Guardians just continue to hang right in there. There probably wasn't a whole lot of expectations, this team going into the year. But they're certainly playing above them right now, and it helps when you're in a division like the AL Central that is not isn't as strong as the other divisions in the American League. And then talking about the White Sox, we don't have a lot to talk about in terms of the White Sox, like really doing anything new and great here in. Here they're still 3 games behind 500 right now, 28-31 on the year with a minus 52 run differential. Injuries are definitely continue to be a problem with this organization. Liam Hendricks just went on the IL. You've got due to a forearm issue. You've got you have Kopech that left the game over the Rangers the other day after 13 pitches with an injury there. Injuries have just been it's kind of for the second season in a row here. The injuries have been an issue for this White Sox organization. But, the big story, Boom, was Tony La Russa and his call that he made the other day that, the yeah, so this was several days ago, even before the Rangers, the series versus the Rangers up there on the south side. Um, but the fire Tony chants as I was listening to my Rangers while I was out and about in the car over the weekend. They started to become noticeable. And there's definitely a nervous energy and a very nervous, anxious, and just irritated energy that I think is starting to take over Guaranteed Rate Field there in on the south side, and it's because this team just continues to underperform. There's a lot of questions about LaRussa's management style, his attitude, just his arrogance of things. And really, I think that all came to a head and really propelled these chants to happen over the Rangers series this past weekend because of what happened when the White Sox were playing the Dodgers. And so what happened here? So this past Thursday, in an 11-9 loss to the Los Angeles Dodgers, Tony La Russa decided to walk Trey Turner with a 1-2 count. And so that brought up, and so Trey Turner has a 303 batting average. Max Muncy following him has a 150 average. But goodness gracious, it could not have gone any worse, that decision, because Muncy comes to the plate and he hits a 3-run homer off of Bennett Sousa, and that opens up the lead to 10-5 there in that game. And so the White Sox would try to come back from it to no avail. But just the questions that what we've been talking about, La Russa's seat getting hot over the past few weeks, that man's seat is turning into lava right now. Like, it's turning into a molten pool of lava. It's just it's so hot right now. And there were a lot of expectations for this White Sox team coming into the year. They've lived up to none of them to this point. There just seems there's no consistency here. There just seems to always be drama, something going on with this organization right now. And I think there's a cultural issue for sure that exists with them. And La Russa has to be somebody that you look at to see, like, hey, how responsible is he ultimately for it and for what we're seeing with this product? I mean, yeah, you're dealing with injuries here as well. That's understandable, but just talent that's not playing up to the par like you would expect them to. And decisions like this, it just, even if it was this is just the type of energy and like the sort of like Murphy's Law type of stuff that comes out of the game of baseball here, is that you're doing like the right thing by the books, but of course, when something's going to go wrong like this, it's going to go wrong when it's raining and it's pouring, like it is for this White Sox team. So just AL Central continues to be there with the Twins leading the way, the Guardians, starting to show something, but certainly the White Sox, what a disaster of a year that they're having.
Oh yeah. We've gotten several managers who have gotten the axe. Will Tony be the next one, or will they just continue to drag it out? I just think rip it off like a Band-Aid and move into the future. I mean, it's clearly not working. It didn't get you to the promised land last time, and this year is a complete disaster. I think there's just strife. The experiment is way past its completion point. It'll be to their detriment if they do not do it. But for now, it's the Twins and Guardians show, which it's interesting. The Guardians sticking in as much as they are. The Twins really just continuing to remind us that they do have good talent, and they're inconsistent throughout the years, but the talent manifests. So it is a very interesting division for sure. Definitely one of the most interesting in baseball. Moving on to the National League end of things, it is a 2-horse race, and this time the top dogs are in St. Louis, baby. All the nostalgia. They're having fun, unlike the White Sox. The Cardinals are 36-27, 1.5 game lead over the Brew Crew. But the Brew Crew, I think they're slamming too many Bush Lights because the Cardinals, they're taking advantage of it. Tommy Edman, this guy has 3.7 wins above replacement. My goodness. I mean, this guy could be an all-star. 278 average, 772 OPS. Paul Goldschmidt, we've talked about him ad nauseum. He's the man. He's on an MVP tour. Nolan Arenado, I mean, that 1-2-3 punches is scary. Harrison Bader, 664 OPS, 1.2 wins above replacement. When you have just studs like that, it just it goes a long way. And then from the pitching end of things, it's rock solid too. Miles Mikolas, 293 ERA. Adam Wainwright, 284. My goodness, that guy ages like fine wine. I mean, yeah, it's not incredibly elite, but I mean, I'll take a sub-3 ERA any day of the week. I mean, yeah, he's pitching over 70 innings. I mean, this guy's a workhorse. It's just truly phenomenal what he's able to do. Dakota Hudson, 329 ERA. I mean, this team has got a lot going for it, and they're having fun. Jack Flaherty, he is on the 60-day IL. He will start in Wednesday's game against the Pirates, so he's going to come back. So the good times keep coming. With Jack Flaherty back, that guy is incredibly talented. So they are fixing. I predict they are fixing to go on a tear, and they are not going to give up this lead that easily. But the team that is contending is the Brewers. They own the lead, but they have just been kind of going downhill as of recent. I mean, you look at their stats, and it's just, I mean, the offense was kind of wishy-washy to begin with. And, I mean, it's just, you don't have any guys that really stick out. The pitching just continues to keep them in like they have all year. But when you have the offense just not really standing out, it's just, I mean, they need that at this point. I mean, you got the Corbin Burns with the 248 ERA. You got the Eric Lauer with the 336. You got the Hoser with the 421, and all those aren't bad. But, I mean, still, it's not. It's just the offense is not giving them run support. And Josh Hader did finally give up 2 runs since our last time. It was bound to happen at some point, but it's still a whopping 0.92 ERA. You have the best closer in baseball. You have decent pitchers, and your offense is lackluster. Going up against the Cardinals, who are seeming to do well on all fronts, it is no surprise that the rabid fans of St. Louis are, they have something to cheer for. This is the ultimate nostalgia year. Can they go back to the promised land? Can they go back to the glory of 2011 with Molina and with, Pujols? Oh, man. Hey, it is technically possible. They make the playoffs, anything can happen. Oh,
that
man.
is true.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's cap this thing off, baby. Let's go to the West.
Yes, sir. Let's wrap this on up. We don't really have to travel all that far west because there's not a lot of meaningful baseball being played up and down the West Coast. But we can still technically call it West out here in the Lone Star State because right now, the Astros and the Rangers are the 2 teams that are doing everything here in this division. The Astros, continue to, they're not, I wouldn't say they're playing really elite level baseball right now. But they continue to do enough to very much steadily hold this division. Right now, 37-24 record on the year, just over 600 winning percentage, plus 41 run differential. We've talked about this Astros club before many times here. Yordan Alvarez, the left fielder here, slashing 315, 403, 625 on the season, 42 runs batted in to go with that as well. And then pitching wise, got Justin Verlander, continues to just be the ageless wonder, dominating things in that regard. Batting. Yeah, it's so interesting seeing how pitching really does a lot for this team. It's like the offense is good, but they're not great. Which I think it's different from what what I think we've remembered the Astros to be in recent years. Barry, what would you like to see with your club here going into approaching the trade deadline soon, and just what you're thinking, kind of
Mm.
the trajectory here of your proud Astros organization as we go into the second half of the season?
You know, man, I just maybe relief pitching. That would definitely be helpful. They've done a lot of that in the past, and I think it will reap benefits. Our farm system is so stacked. I'm not even really worried about it. Um, it's just really our center fielder position is just not set in stone. Yeah, it's nice. It would be nice to have a better offensive catcher, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. Really, it's just I think we really have everything, and if we wanna play the long ball in terms of the trade deadline, I wouldn't blame Click for doing that, but it goes back to it. It's just we have all the talent in the world, it's just we're offense massively underperforms. Time and time again, we've lost, I think, 7 out of our last 10, uh, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, Astros on a little bit of a downward spin and starting to come back down to earth a little bit, playing down to their competition. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's
It's
some
just
rough, serious losses here to teams like the Marlins and the Mariners,
yeah.
and yeah, just not even. It's been a while since y'all have played
I
like a
know.
really good, a really good club here. I mean, just the schedule has not been phenomenal. Man, the AL is definitely very top heavy this
Yes.
year. There, so that can skew some things and send some teams on very streaky performances at different times throughout the schedule. I think it's it's you talk about your Astros, the farm system remains stacked. I think you talk about like the windows we've talked about before. It's like, the window is not going to go like, this is not going to become a club. It's going to become like the Tigers, the Royals overnight. But there's going to be a point of which this Astros team will become very young again, probably
Mhm.
within like the next 2 or 3 years.
Yes, the
And
future is
so,
bright.
yeah, the future's bright, but they will definitely be very young, and it will be a completely new cast, kind of from
Mhm.
what the core has been with this organization. We already saw Correa making his way out over the off season. There's other guys that will do the same as well. Yeah, so eventually it happens. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
the Cubs saw the very same thing happen. The Cubs obviously have a bit more of a rebuilding thing, but they they part of that getting hot was all the experience that they had out there with
Yeah.
the guys like Rizzo and Bryant and others,
Yeah.
and those names, they come and go. But that the Astros organization knows what they're doing. They have their sights both on the here and now and what's to come. So certainly, yeah, things remain bright. The window remains open, albeit with flaws right now for this Astros team. But the future looks still remaining just as bright as ever.
Mhm.
And then we'll talk about my Texas Rangers to close it out. Once again, right there. Yeah, Brad Miller has 3 wins in a row right now as starting pitcher uh, for this Rangers team right now. 3-game win streak that they're on right now. Got that opening win over the Astros the other night. Right now in this home series as part of the Silver Boot competition that's played every year. Got a really nice road series win over the White Sox. You would like to see them be able to get it as well over the Guardians and the Mariners. But things are trending in the right direction here for this Rangers team. Still just +6 run differential on the year, but 2.5 games behind right now in the wild card position. Um, yeah, Nathaniel Lowe, the first baseman, batting 272, 316, 422 slashing. Corey Seagers, we talked about, his game is really heating up at this point of the year. Adolis Garcia playing an elite right fielding right now. Martin Perez, 218 ERA on the year with 4 wins and 60 strikeouts, excuse me, as a starter. Dane Dunning continuing to hold things up as well on his end of the bargain with 64 strikeouts. Good pieces here in place for the Rangers, and right now to start, and a bright future to come with the Rangers farm system. And I don't know fully what my conviction is yet as to what this Rangers team could do heading into the trade deadline and into the second half of the regular season. but it's fun baseball to watch right now. And it's something that I actually want to tune in for, comparatively to how it's been in recent years. Yeah, future, the Astros still might have the brighter future at the moment, but the Rangers, I think, it's fun because, as we talked about, Boom, this division is more fun when both the Astros and the Rangers are doing well, and we're getting back to that point here. And so it's fun to see. It's fun to see the Rangers, being competitive here. They didn't pick up the first two series here in the Silver Boot here against the Astros, but hey, you know what? Things are looking pretty good right now here as we're recording this episode here. Bottom of the eighth, no outs, runners on first and third. The Rangers leading 3-0 over your Astros.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can maybe get some insurance here, and then wrap it up here on the mound here, and get these guys home and rested, and try and go for another win another day. But it's fun baseball to watch right now in DFW. So there's a future and a direction to this Rangers organization. Yeah. As a Rangers fan, I have not been able to say that in recent years. They have truly tried to just shop the bargain bin the entire time and hope that some spaghetti that's thrown against the wall sticks. But they're actually planting their own garden right now, which is just fun to watch.
There you go. Yeah, Rangers are good. It'd be awesome to see if they can sneak in a wild card spot, because then they will make the playoffs and the Rangers fans will show up in droves. And
they will.
Yes, best of 3 game series. So we will see. But now we move on down to the NL West, and there is a tie for first place. That's right. The Padres have been just hanging in there. They are now tied for first place with the Dodgers. Both of them have a 3-game lead over the Giants. We all know the Dodgers. Mookie Betts, it's the Mookie Betts show. He carries the team on their back. The offense is plentiful. When it comes to the pitching, Walker Buehler with a 4.02 ERA, Urias 2.80, Tyler Anderson 3.07, Clayton Kershaw, 2.12. I think he's still battling an injury, if I'm not mistaken. But Walker Buehler is actually on a 15-day IL, so it's a bummer for him. Clayton Kershaw, I believe, is back from the injury, and he's still pitching in elite territory. So, but the Padres, man, it's just all without Tatis. Their fans have just got to be absolutely stoked. I know I would be, because it's just, you're doing better than you ever could have imagined. And last year, you got really screwed. Tatis is still on the 60-day IL. His scan for his wrist didn't reveal anything. It didn't reveal the desired level of healing. So his expected return date is being pushed back. You got to wonder, when will he ever come back? Will it be Acuna and just not come back? But the Padres, they're hanging tough. They're hanging tough for the win. Manny Machado is just a man. He's on an MVP absolute tear. Jake Cronenworth, 1.9 wins above replacement. Profar 1.9 WAR. Hosmer 1.1 WAR. It's just, the offense is a plentiful. But then Joe Musgrove, this guy is Cy Young caliber. 1.50 ERA, 0.93 WHIP. Gee whiz. Yu Darvish 3.35 ERA. Sean Manaea 3.52. Nick Martinez 3.74. Mackenzie Gore 2.50. Their pitching's good. Offense is good. It's just a team effort. It's just, they are what the Giants were last year, as a team that is just deciding to go toe and toe with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers can't run away with it like the Yankees are running away with the East. But speaking of the Giants, they're only 3 games back now. We keep forgetting about these guys because obviously their offense, besides Yastrzemski, is not incredible. They're not hitting a lot of bombs. Jock Peterson is a notable component to their offense. Mike Yastrzemski having a phenomenal year, slashing 275, 377, 468, 845 OPS, 1.3 wins above replacement, doing his grandfather, the great Carl Yastrzemski, proud. And when it comes to pitching, you got some pretty good arms. Logan Webb, 3.77 ERA. Carlos Rodon, 3.18 ERA. Alex Wood, 4.11 ERA. Jacob Junis, 2.63 ERA. It's just, I mean, you knew it was going to be there, and it's going to be good. Alex Cobb, 5.73 ERA. He is underperforming. Last year, their rotation was legit, one of the best in baseball. Carlos Rodon is their ace for sure, and it's good to have him on board, but it really is a 3-horse race. It's all the Cali teams. They're just eating up that California money. So, but there you go. That concludes our breakdown of the divisions, and it just feels like these leads in multiple divisions, you can just snap your fingers and they're gone. There's just so much fragility within the sport. And there's been a whole lot of shakeup with our no doubter rankings. Our no doubter rankings this week are cray cray because there's been so many teams that are just leaps and bounds. At the number 10 position, Giants, got to give them some love. They were not ranked previously, so they're at the number 10. The Braves, 12-game win streak. What does that get you? It gets you relevance. You are the number 9 team. A lot of other people put them higher, but you got to ease your way into it. If you stick around, maybe we'll give you some more. Astros, I got to be hard on them. They are at the number 8 position. They went down 4 slots. But when you lose to the Marlins, when you start losing to the Rangers, I mean, it's just you lose to the Mariners, a team you're supposed to beat the crap out of. I mean, I just can't give you a lot of respect. So tough luck, Astros. This is my tough love for you to get back going. Blue Jays climbing up a little bit, going up 2 spots in the number 7 position. Twins keep the good times going up to number 6 position. Dodgers cooling down just a little bit. They're going into the number 5 position. Cardinals, they're moving up 2 spots in the number 4 position. They are in the lead in the NL Central, so we got to give them respect. Padres, leapfrogging over the Cardinals. They moved up 1 position, and they are the number 3 team. I just really like what I'm seeing from this team. They're just firing on all cylinders. But then, of course, it's the New York show. Mets, number 2, and number 1, it can't be anyone else. The New York Yankees. Ugh. Come on. It can't be the Yankees forever. I mean, I think it's been the Yankees for like the past 2 or 3 weeks. Some other team. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Mets. Someone's got to dethrone them, but as long as they keep having a ridiculous good record, we keep having to put them in the number 1 spot because, I mean, they deserve it. That's just objectively, but will they be dethroned? The evil empire. We will see, but there you go. That was an extra special episode of No Doubter. Trav, let's give our audience a good old call to action.
Yes, sir. Let's do just that. It's been another great episode of No Doubter. So we're wrapping it up today. Help us out. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Google, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you want to watch us, listen to us. We're there. We'd love for you to make sure you're never missing out on any new No Doubter content. Leave us a review to let us know how you've enjoyed the show. Make sure that you're connected with us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Boom and myself are available on Twitter as well at BoomBostic21 and at Travis Lofley. We've got our Patreon here with multiple tiers where you can get even greater level of access to No Doubter. Please take a look at those. You give just a little bit, you can give a little bit more, and you've got any kind of like range of offers that are given to you as being part of that community. And no matter where you join, you're always a part of making this show possible, which is why we're going to give a shout out to a couple of quick people. First off, our longest standing patron, Mr. Tad Bostic, and then our Patreon producer, Mr. Don Hale. It's because of these 2 fellows. They help us out recouping some costs and making sure that we can continue to do this show. Check out our merch store. Our partner at TeePublic has done a great job of putting together t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, baseball shirts, phone cases, crew neck sweatshirts, so many cool things that you can get in there with the No Doubter logo on them and help spread the word about the show and what we're doing here with the sport of baseball. You'll see all those important links in the description below. Boom, close us out in the way that we always do with every episode of No Doubter.
Thank you all so much for joining us for this extra special episode. College baseball is about it to get into most exciting territory. So as you're watching all of Omaha, and again, admit it, this is the time to watch. We swear this is it. It's Omaha, baby. One word. Peyton Manning's favorite word. Omaha, Omaha. I mean, as you're watching that, as you're watching all of your Major League Baseball, you're just so much. It's just overwhelming. Make sure to keep your head. Keep your head as you're going into your life, no matter what you're doing, and bat 400 and always swing for the fences. It's the only way to go about it. Thank y'all so much. We love y'all, and we will see y'all